Hey guys, it's morning and my kids are hungry, so you know what I'm making? Waffles! Oh yeah! Yay! Listen again guys, if you didn't hear me the last time. Any compostable scraps you have, please compost them if you have the ability to compost. Please, just do it. Alright guys, so here we go, waffles. My kids love when I make waffles, and I'm making a ridiculously big batch because I always need something for them to nibble on. Mornings before school, I don't always have time to cook waffles. It's not super time consuming, but it's time consuming enough that there's just isn't always the time. God forbid you wake up late. It's nice to have them ready to go, pop them in the toaster, or if everyone wants them, they go broiled right in the oven. Easy peasy, warm them all up together. First, you want to set this guy to preheat. I got my tiny little dash waffle maker. Eventually, I'll have a nice big one. But for now, that's what I'm working with today. Those are really cheap. You can find them in Target. Step 2, dry ingredients. I've already went ahead and measured and mixed. So for a regular serving of these, you would use about 2 cups of flour, 4 teaspoons baking powder, 1 tablespoon of sugar. I use raw sugar. I also add in about a half teaspoon of cinnamon. It's fantastic. You'll also need about a half teaspoon of salt. Okay? After that, you want to well in the center, and then we'll be working wet ingredients. Normally, you would use about 1 3/4 cup of milk. Here we go, right in the middle. I'm going to use about 2 eggs. Again, I'm doubling because I got family of 6 over here. I'm making a lot. So again, usually 2 eggs. Now, also under normal circumstances, you would use about a half cup of vegetable oil. I personally like avocado. However, I'm running low today, so I'm going to do half and half. I'm doing half avocado oil and half butter. So again, for regular serving, if you were to do half, it would be a 1/4 cup of each. Okay. And give that a good whisk till it's all nice and incorporated. So with my ridiculously big batch of waffles here, I like to do them all ahead of time. They store really great in the refrigerator. You could also freeze them. However, I personally have never had them last long enough to justify freezing them. But it is kind of nice, instead of paying for Eggo waffles with all of the things in them, or for gluten-free frozen waffles, ridiculous. I'm sorry. For that price, they're gone in 2 minutes. It's not 1 box isn't even enough for my whole family. Right? I think they come in about a box of 6. I can't justify it. That's why I'm so adamant making everything myself. It's a little less expensive to do it. It takes a little bit of time, but not really all that much. Here we go. Everything looks about good and incorporated here. All right. Oh, almost. Now, we'll be popping this into our waffle maker in just a second. I just wanted to go ahead and show you. Should have shown this at the start. This is the flour blend that I'm using today. King Arthur gluten-free Measure Flour. It's a 1-to-1 substitute for wheat. Works fantastic. I've been using it for a long time. I've been baking since I was 10. So 20 years of baking experience over here. This I found does pretty well as a substitute for almost any of my recipes. Okay, except for yeast breads. That will do another day. That I have all the special flours in. All right. My little light is off. It's preheated now. And I also went ahead already and I gave it just a quick spritz with my avocado oil spray, just to keep them from sticking. This is our second maker. First one only broke because somebody dropped it on the floor. It's held up. They held up pretty well. That one lasted me a year. So you'll add in about about a quarter of a cup of mix. Close it up. Let it do its thing. Okay. We're gonna let that sit and go, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, our little light is off. Let's open it up and take a peek. All right, perfect tiny waffle. There you go. Looks good. If you want to leave them in an extra couple of minutes to be more well done, you certainly can. That's good for me, especially if I'll be storing them to be reheated again on a future date. Most likely later this afternoon or tomorrow. Because you don't want them to burn, obviously. So that's pretty good. Now, a little variation. Do another one. I'm gonna pop in a couple of blueberries. Don't forget, you could add goodies to this. Blueberries, diced up strawberries, chocolate chips, white chips, nuts, chopped nuts, whatever you wanted to do, you could probably do that as well. Actually, I might consider doing a banana walnut or a banana waffle in the future. That's probably a really good idea and a good way to use up some overripe bananas. My boys usually eat them all right away, but if they get us one spot on them, my kids are like, no, I don't want it. Then they get baked into something else, which is totally fine. All right, we'll check in just a minute or two. We'll see how that blueberry waffle came out. All right, guys. Ooh, look at that cute little waffle. Yum. That's perfectly golden for me. That looks good. Do not take a bite yet. It's molten hot. Do not, I repeat, do not eat it yet. Let it cool for a minute or two first. I'll pop in my next one because it's going to take forever, and I would like to show you what I do. If you've ever eaten waffles or pancakes that came out of the press and they're stacked right away, they get kind of soggy. So this is a Wilton 3-tier cooling rack. Since I'm making so many, I pulled this guy out. You do not need one this big. You could always use a smaller one. As they cool, remove them. I'm just going to use this guy. Use my vertical space. Let them all cool. All right. I know they're going to get devoured anyway, but let's leave them at this. So then I like to go from the bottom and then fill it up this way. If the top ones are cooled first and then you add to the bottom, all the steam is going to come up and kind of make the bottoms a little soggy. So I always go from the bottom up, and that works really well for me, whether it's waffles, cookies, muffins, cupcakes, whatever. Even cake layers, if I'm making a layer cake, I always do it the same way, bottom and then up. I guess it's not that big of a deal if they all come out at once, because then they're all hot at the same time and cooling. But that's just that's kind of how I run the show. Alright guys, I really hope you enjoyed that tutorial. It was so easy, I could do it with a baby in one arm. It also helps if your mixing bowl has a silicone bottom like mine does, so it doesn't slip and slide around the counter. All right. Did you like it, Clayton? Yeah, you'll have it soon. Don't worry. You need teeth first. say thank you, everyone. And if you really enjoyed this video, please feel free to buy me a coffee. Because there's not enough coffee in the world for me today. Love you all. Bye, guys. Let me know what you want to see next.